Hi, buddies. I'm Jacob Mangley, and you are watching Technicolor Muck. And for my first episode, I'm settling an old score. You see, about 3 years ago, I watched a show with the intent to review it, since I wasn't doing reviews at the time. I never got anywhere with it. This is Bounty Hunters. CMT's first, and if God's willing, given they have shows with names such as Party Down South and Hillbillies for Hire. Though, to be fair, if one of them's wearing a Luke Cage outfit and the other one's wearing an Iron Fist outfit, I would watch the shit out of that. You would too, don't lie. But that being said, hopefully never again. The series stars the blue-collar comedy guys minus Ron White. If you don't know what blue-collar comedy is, well, okay, you're probably first thinking of Roseanne. If you don't, which, good show, go watch that after this, but no. It's basically Southern humor done by 4 comedians. Jeff Foxworthy, Bill Engvall, Ron White, who isn't associated with this disaster, and Larry the goddamn Cable Guy. You may remember as Mater from Cars and Cars 2, The Switch for More Money. And this was 2013, 3 years ago, they made this show. Did anyone think these guys were still relevant? I mean, I assume they still hold decent stand-up rates. I mean, they have their audience, and as a kid, I thought they were okay. And my dad likes them. I mean, he likes some stupid shit, but everyone has a different sense of humor. But seriously, guys, 2013, you thought these 3 guys were going to start your animation boom. I mean, no. Their relevance had dried up. 2 out of 3 of them have failed sitcoms under their belt. Which, for the record, I will cover the show at another point on this program. But the Jeff Foxworthy show is okay. Nothing special, and I haven't seen the second season, so that could be worse. And Bill Engvall was on that. And the Bill Engvall show, while lasting longer, is also just okay. But it had Tim Meadows, so it does get a pass for me for now. If it gets on Crackle or something at some point, I'll stream it and review it. But again, enough about hypothetical reviews. Oh yeah, I haven't gotten to Larry the Cable Guy yet. No TV shows, 2 ass pits of a movie, and 2 voice roles prior, both of which were successful-ish. I don't think Cars 2 is that successful, but I think it still probably made a profit, at least on merchandising rights alone. Again, Search for More Money, but no one really liked Cars 2. Like, I don't think kids even liked it. Like, maybe younger kids like my nieces might be, and then I have to think they have better taste than that. What made you think this would work? And it didn't. It failed. So why am I talking about it? Because it's a fascinating failure. For starters, the executive producers, one of which whose name I sadly can't remember, and the other is Mark Burnett. Or Burnett. Yeah, Burnett. The point is, actually, it's Matt. Damn. Matt Burnett. Trouble doing it vlog style, baby. But yeah, Matt Burnett is the story editor for Steven Universe. Yes, really. One of the best shows in the past decade, and one of the best animated shows of all time, story editor, created this mediocre piece of shit. Just baffled me at the time. Just, how? I mean, the third creator was just some guy who done some Kelly Clarkson special and a few other minor things. But still, just like these guys had little to no background, so giving them a series was enough of a mistake as is, but then they go on to actual success. Then again, instead of running the show, or at least creating it, they're part of a team over at Steven Universe, a functional, highly effective team. One that probably put them in the right position, and they're not creating so much as making sure the stories are coherent. Which is a good thing, and they're clearly good at their roles because the show's a massive success. So yeah. Yeah. But that baffling fact aside, and all this rambling aside, what is Bounty Hunters even about? It's about Jeff Barton, played by Foxworthy, who's a bounty hunter. Duh. Title. And runs Barton's bounty hunting with his two best friends, Bill Davis, Bill Engvall, and Larry. And they didn't even give him a last name, I think. He's just Larry. And yeah, most of the main actors in this show, scratch that. All of the main actors use their first name. The episodes are basically this. Each of the guys has a problem. They have a bounty to solve all that. And their bail bondswoman Lisa comes in to sexually harass Bill. And if you're worried because Bill Engvall's a family comedian who talks about his family, Bill's single here. You should still be worried because it's just... No. Just because a woman's conventionally unattractive, and unattractive because the art style's awful, doesn't mean that that's okay. It's not okay to repeatedly harass someone, and they don't even try to make any real jokes out of it. Just have her say creepy sexual things she wants to do to Bill Engvall. Did anyone want that? Did anyone want someone trying to fuck Bill Engvall? Raise your hand right now. Just you? Just you over there? Yeah, that's what I thought. But you're okay. I mean, you can have your fetishes, but just... What the hell were they thinking? And if you're thinking being the single guy in the group who's not divorced and a loser means that Bill just sort of creeps on women and talks about boobs, yeah, it's pretty much his personality, that, and he's an idiot. Jeff's is that he's the dorky boss, he's trying to deal with his bitch of an ex-wife and her idiotic milquetoast boyfriend, both of who, yeah, that's pretty much their characterizations. Like, his wife does a few nice things, but you wonder why people are around her at all. And her husband's just one of the most annoying characters I've ever met. Like, just, I'm white and upper class and talk like this. Doodly doo. That's the entire joke. I mean, Ned Flanders was like that. He is a huge dork who the protagonist didn't like. The difference between him and this Nathan guy, Flanders actually had a personality. Like, even in the later years where they made him too much of a Bible thumper, he's still a likable guy. And just basically is Homer's enemy because he's more successful and always nice and polite. It works. Here, you get why Jeff's annoyed at him, but he's not supposed to annoy the audience. Oh, and Jeff also has a son he's trying to provide for. He's basically just a giant prop. Are you that surprised? I bet you're wondering what Larry the Cable Guy's magical storied character is. He's Larry the Cable Guy. He eats, he farts. The only thing missing is racist talks about Asians. And since he has an Asian girlfriend in the series, I'm going to assume that's their subtle nod to it. And in the writer's room, they told Larry, God, please, no. Please, just no. No, we have our limits. So that's our setup. There's about one more character, and until I started rewatching a few episodes of this review, I had no idea about this. Dave Thomas as Jeff's layabout, good-for-nothing, redneck stereotype father, Jesco. Which is in itself, I mean, Jethro, Cletus, Remus, Yokel Steve, none of these are better than whatever the hell Jesco is. And for those of you who don't know Dave Thomas, he was a cast member in the sketch comedy series in the late 70s, early 80s SCTV, which I have all the box sets for, and love dearly. I mean, seriously, Dave, did your series bottoming out mean you were in debt or something? Did you just, need to pay for your daughters, if you have a daughter, son, grandson, nephew, someone's graduation or heart transplant? Were you in with the mob? I mean, who reads a character sheet that says you're going to play Jesco? And you know the kick here about all this? As I've been rambling and everything? Everyone tried. Yeah. Everyone, that's one positive I can say about the series. I have a few. I mean, as I said, it's a pretty formulaic turd, but they try. There's just no good material from whoever's writing it. Seriously, I looked on IMDb. I looked in the actual credits. They don't say who wrote it. No one wanted the blame. I wouldn't be surprised if Larry the Table Guy just took a laptop into his toilet and while writing his latest "I took a dump" jokes for his sitcom knocked out the plots, and they converted them to script format for everybody. And into beyond third grade writing. Oh. But yeah, the voice acting cast, well, I don't know most of them other than the main four. I think I've seen Lisa Lampanelli, who plays Lisa in a few things. And of course, Dave Thomas. And Dave, for one thing, I didn't recognize his voice at all. And for another, he's never used that voice before that I've seen. He actually put in a lot of effort for this crap bucket. It was put in the wrong place, but yeah, most of them seem to be trying to play their characters however limited they are. It's just when your characters are your typical bland protagonist, a horny moron, a horny sexually harassing asshole, and Larry the Cable Guy, how successful can you be? How? And since the show's animated, I haven't even talked about the animation yet. Go me! First episode! Already a stellar success. The animation's crap. It's ugly. Bill Engvall looks like has a boner at any given time. He has his eyes half shut like this. Yeah. I just gave you the image of Bill Engvall's orgasm. I am so sorry for that. But that's what it looks like. And for half the characters, their eyes are just half shut like a half-assed DreamWorks look. That DreamWorks eyebrow where they raise and look mischievous. That's what they're going for, but it just looks creepy, like Bill Engvall stalking you in the bushes with his mighty boner. It's just... yeah, animation's terrible. What about the actual comedy? Piss poor, awful, and relying on Southern stereotypes for audience that it probably is consisted of people from the South or people who like things from the South, like country. I mean, again, it's on a network with a show called The Hillbillies for Hire, which, for the record, if they dress them up like Luke Cage and Iron Fist, I may watch it, but I mean, their audience are either people who genuinely like this stuff, people like to go her rednecks. So I get it. It's just not funny. I mean, I live in the Midwest, right on the border of the South in Missouri. And while I've seen some dumb rednecks, most of the people I know are genuine. And King of the Hill did that fine. I just get tired of these southern idiotic stereotypes. And again, these guys made their careers off it, and Larry the Cable Guy is one, but that's one of the weakest things about the show. I mean, it's one thing to poke fun at your heritage. That's fine. You might be a redneck jokes can actually get a giggle out of me. But when all you're doing is just, grr, 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 I'm a redneck. I'm a redneck. I'm a redneck. That's the character. And there's really no characters. Like, the bounties of the weeks are just, there's a wrestler who took steroids called Steroid Lloyd, a Jersey guy named Jersey Joe. I think Sex Offender Pete was on the tap for season 2 before they got canceled. Like, you get the idea. They're just limited characters with no comedic potential, chasing after characters with no comedic potential, in a series that actually has it. Seriously, 3 normal guys who aren't that fit trying to run a bounty hunting business because it's about the only job they can really get, dealing with local idiots in their quirky town and their smart city gal Belle bondswoman could actually be funny. But they don't do anything new. They don't do anything fresh. They just rehash the same redneck jokes and the same bullshit. And the same stock plots. There's a new woman in the character's life, but she has a dark past and is just using him. They have to go into a prison. Okay, that was a little unique, but the character has to deal with his idiot father / other idiot side character for an episode. The character competes with his child's new stepdad. Larry the Cable Guy trains in Kung Fu. Okay, that one's unique, but you can have that because that is just... At least they didn't make a movie out of it. At least the series spared us that. There isn't crouching moron hidden redneck out there. I'd watch that if it starred AJ Styles. Seriously, WWE, get on that. It'll be stupid, but it'll also be AJ Styles karate chopping people in the face. And if any good comes out of this rambling review of this crappy show, it would be that. I think I've about covered everything. Bounty Hunters is a mediocre show that tried a little bit. I mean, the voice cast was decent and everything, but the animation was awful, the plots are stock, and the characters are just deeply unlikable and obnoxious. The series lasted 13 episodes, 2 of the creators went on to better things, and the blue-collar comedy guys, went back to telling unfunny jokes to arenas instead of to CMT audience. I'm Jacob Mangley. I'll see you next time. Bye, buddy.